pretty enthusiastic about what they see placed in front of them every other week. Great atmosphere, a balmy evening. It was pouring with rain yesterday throughout the day. It rained heavily this morning, but thankfully, as Phil Bentham gets ready to get this game underway, the weather has cleared. We have a very pleasant evening here in the south of France, and it's the last match of the Easter Monday programme. And what an Easter Monday it has been, Steve-O. The big shock at Headingley, of course, where Salford won. Incredible. And I wonder how these two teams will back up after their Good Friday or Easter Thursday experience.
It's going to be very difficult for both sides. It's what's left in the tank, as you say. Plenty of shocks over the Easter weekend. We anticipated all that. Of course, the Wigan coach, Brian Noble, he'll be hoping that Wigan can put points on the board. Remember, they had so many opportunities against Saints, but did not score enough points.
Fantastic kick-off that was from Pat Richards. The ball hung in the air, and Greg Bird, the captain, was the man underneath it.
Second move.
It's Wigan who are in blue, and they concede the first penalty on only the second tackle of the match.
Just a lack of concentration there. Good kick, but messing around and then trying to turtle them. Referees these days will not put up with that. Brian Noble will be furious.
So here now is Jason Croker, 36, but he made the most tackles against the Harlequins on Thursday in the match at the Twickenham Stoop.
He's a real workhorse.
He is, and so is the man with ball in hand there, Casey Maguire, who tipped it inside to Dane Carlaw.
The big problem for the Warriors today is, can their forwards handle this huge pack? They really have some big units in the set six.
Jean-Philippe Bale plays the ball. Jerome Guisset will be loving this. He had a season, of course, at Wigan, and he's up against his former club here. He's got the Catalan Dragons on the front foot early here. And there's a chance for Carlaw, and then he's flicked it out wide to Pello, and Pello has scored the first try of this match to give the Catalan Dragons a flying start. Wonderful hands, and it all came about as a result of that penalty on the second tackle of the match that Wigan conceded, and courtesy of the possession that they received, the Catalan Dragons take the lead with the French international Dimitri Pello, who's just come up with his fourth try of the year. He played in the World Cup for France, and Dimitri Pello, with 13 tries last year, has got the Dragons up and running here.
Give away silly penalties, you can pay the price, and Wigan have certainly done that. Good quick hands, beautiful stuff. Loose forward Carlo. They really should have got the numbers out wide, and it was an easy touchdown for Pello. No one at home. When you've got a pretty tight defence like that, you've got to make sure that you're man on man, and they failed to do that. Take nothing away from this fella, that's what he's paid to do. But what about the pass from Dane Carlo? But Brian Noble will have sent the message out. You have to get man-on-man marking. You can't afford to have a sliding defence so close to your own goal line.
So Thomas Bosk then with the chance from the far touchline to add the extras here for the Catalan Dragons and make it the perfect start. Crowd hush as Bosk takes aim, but he didn't drift it close enough to the posts on the breeze that is swirling around the Stade Gilbert Brutus. We are there, aren't we, Steve-O?
You got there in the end, Eddie, that is for sure. But as I say, Brian Noble will be bitterly disappointed with that. You see how two men went for one, left it easy for him. And when it's been a hard Easter fixture, you've got to make sure that you give yourself a bit of confidence. It's amazing though, isn't it? A couple of weeks ago, Catalan, they weren't playing together. They didn't seem to have any system, any rhythm at all. Amazing what one win can do.
The referee making Pat Richards just drop the kicking tee a centimetre or three there. He decided it was too high. And Phil Bentham, very eager and very eagle-eyed. And the kicking tee can be no higher than 10 centimetres. So he seemed to be happy with that.
Once again, we see the power of this Catalan outfit. Oh, going on the third.
And it's gone for a 40-20 there. Casey Maguire. Pat Richards just manages to keep the ball in play.
Boy,
But
that
look
was
where
good.
he is.
Good footwork, though. Tremendous footwork.
And great chase from the Catalan Dragons.
Ooh, just got it there in time.
Very lush, the turf here at this stadium in Perpignan, and it took its toll almost there on Pat Richards. This isn't the start, Phil, that Wigan would have wanted.
Particularly the goal line defence, because Catalan looked easy the way that they just ran, had an overlap of course, they didn't have enough numbers, Wigan in defence. It's a very sloppy and almost lethargic start for them defending their own line. Here they are, have the ball. I suspect we'll see Martin Gleeson and Amos Roberts given plenty of possession and attack, but they will want to improve defending, particularly when they get close to their own try line again.
Long kick is downfield, and that's a good kick too. Oh, and it's a great chase, and he has some work to do here, Vincent Duport, and he couldn't come up with the work, and Wigan, shape of Harrison Hansen and company, they trap him in goal.
Well, very lackadaisical there by Duport. He really wasn't sprinting, he was just hoping perhaps that the ball would go dead in goal. And that is a huge mistake. They'll get the possession, will Wigan. And boy, do they need it. They need something to just spark them, because I agree with Phil Clark. They look very sluggish at the moment.
Let's go down to the sideline and Bill.
Eddie, Wigan relieved to see Thomas Luluai out there, because on top of the other problems they've had, of course, with Gareth Hock's unavailability, Phelps as well. Luluai apparently has been a bit under weather with a stomach bug, which has laid him low. Thankfully, according to the Wigan bench anyway, he's over that and feeling fine.
Good news, but obviously an attack of whatever he had, it will take it out of him during the course of this match. There's no doubt about that. Must be a bit dehydrated. Tompkins gets the ball away. And that's Bailey. He's surrounded by four. You stop him. And Mark Riddell, so close to the line. Bullet pass from O'Loughlin, and it's Roberts over in the corner for Wigan. They respond immediately. And that's brought a smile to the face of the Wigan supporters behind that goal there that they are attacking. And Amos Roberts with the try. His third try of the campaign.
Well, it's a carbon copy, isn't it, of what Catalan produced for the winger Pello. And on this occasion, it's the French outfit that get themselves in all sorts of trouble. And Vincent Duport really should have raced back for that. Look, that is too lazy. You can't just expect it to go. Take nothing away from the Wigan chase, but it's just quick hands. And you can see the scorer, Pello, he was caught out of position, and that makes it 1-1. It was Roberts that got caught on the other side. Now it's Roberts that catches out Pello. Can be a cruel game. It's a wonderful pass, though, wasn't it, by the skipper, Sean O'Loughlin.
Amos Roberts, formerly with the Sydney Roosters. He played there 4 of his 9 NRL seasons. And Pat Richards, 100 points in 10 games against the Catalan Dragons before tonight. Tries in all 4 of them last year. 22 points in the playoffs. The playoff win with 2 tries and 7 goals, but he has missed with that. So it's 4 apiece here in Perpignan.
Defence wins your games, and Thomas Luluai there added that extra bit of pressure. Amos Roberts, who's in your picture, scored that try, but it's all about discipline this game. This Catalan side, when they come into Super League in 2006, has to play this Wigan side because they wanted to bring the crowds in for a big game, so they were really pumped up for this game as well.
Oh, and that's a mistake by Bailey, knocked on from the kick-off. It's amazing how many times that happens, just a lack of concentration for a second.
Was a very difficult kick-off to deal with, Eddie, and a great piece of skill to kick the ball so hard and low and fast. You saw it bouncing awkwardly, even in slow motion. You've got to put your opponents under pressure, even when you kick restart.
And that's what Catalan Dragons have done. They have got the head and feet at the scrum, courtesy of that knock-on by Bailey.
It amazes me, though, why he didn't utilise the foot. Trying to go down with the fingertips. Could have blocked it.
Quick play the ball from Greg Bird. Here now is Stephen Bell, the Catalan Dragons' major signing for 2009. Played in the last 2 NRL Grand Finals for Manly Sea Eagles. Now on the charge they have the big men, and it's Jason Riles, and who swapped the Dragons of Australia for the Dragons of the south of France. This now is Bosk, always busy. Thomas Bosk gets the ball away, The ball went backwards, says the referee Phil Bentham.
Good work by Greenshields, had to be as well.
It did go backwards, that ball. It shot out, and that went forward off Guisset. He saw Stuart Fielden closing in.
Offside.
Well, there's one thing doing a neat short pass, but this wasn't the best, was it? Casey Maguire, it was spinning onto the floor. Oh, great work by O'Loughlin.
Fantastic run from the captain. He's clawed down eventually. It was a good run from Jean-Philippe Bale, and Wigan were given a penalty because the Catalan Dragons were offside apparently at that knock-on. So Thomas Luluai now on tackle number 2, and Wigan, courtesy of the run from Sean O'Loughlin. They are in great shape here with Sam Tompkins. He finds Andy Coley, who breaks through the first tacklers, and Andy Coley flings the ball wildly out here to Carl Price. Price then will find Ainscough, and this wonderful run of scoring from Ainscough just continues. It keeps on going for Sean Ainscough. 9 tries now in Super League this year. He stands top of the Super League try-scoring charts coming into this match, depending who got the tries around the country earlier today. But Ainscough has now got 9 tries in Super League in 2009. Is he the young player of the year in 2009 already? Well, of course, that vote will be taken later in the year, but he's certainly got Wigan ahead here, and what a run from O'Loughlin.
Unbelievable stuff. They were caught napping, were the Catalan. They had their backs to him, and the Wigan skipper put him straight through, put him into a very good position. And from here, what about the run, though, from Andy Coley? You have to say that Coley has taken a while to settle in here, but that was amazing. Went right underneath, took the gamble. Price says, thank you very much indeed. Ainscough said, I won't score one as easy as that for a long, long time. But this guy knows the way to the line. I'm with you, Eddie. He's got to be in the frame now for the young player of the year, even though it's so early in the season.
And he's certainly caught the eye this year, hasn't he, Sean Ainscough? 19 years of age. Reminds me so much of the running style of one Jason Robinson. And he's operating on the wing. He's as quick as Robinson. He's brave. And he knows where the try line is. So Pat Richards now. He tried one from the other side a few moments ago. Can he add the extras here? Irish international, of course, during the World Cup, Pat Richards. 18 goals for Super League in 2009, but nothing yet tonight. Will this be the first points off the boot of Richards? No, that did catch the wind, I think. Really spun away, but Wigan are ahead 8-4.
You cannot go high on a big forward like that. You've got to get, look, they're both going to get him round the head. No one interested in his legs. And that is a great effort. Wonderful offload.
Don't think Sean Ainscough will score an easier try all year.
But again, though, let's credit Stuart Fielden for that. He was the one who got up and put pressure on Jerome Guisset to come up with that mistake. But Casey Maguire was at fault. He come off a slow play of the ball, tried to engage the markers and give the ball to Jerome Guisset, who was just under all kinds of pressure.
Talking about players under pressure, Carl Price is under pressure going into this game. Not a regular starter at centre, playing against Stephen Bell, who has grand final experience from Australia, and he hadn't touched the ball in 11 minutes in the match. First touch, it was a simple catch and pass on to his winger, but it helped set up that try.
Kevin Walters, the Catalan Dragons coach, watching on and won't be happy with this, the concession of a penalty to Wigan. Messing around and fiddling about at the play of the ball, and Ellimer not clearing the ruck either.
It was good work by Andy Coley. He realised that his man still had a hand on his shirt, so gets to his feet quickly. So important. Quick play of the ball.
Big collision there involving Stuart Fielden. Mark Riddell waits at dummy half. Here is Thomas Luluai. Got the ball away to Pat Richards, who's chimed in. And the Catalan Dragons dealing with that threat for the time being. He will play the ball here to Riddell. Now it's with Luluai. Not the best pass. It wasn't the best pass, that. And Harrison Hansen, well, he just overran the pass a little bit. And as we watch this replay again of the knock-on, just a mention for one team of youngsters who are out here on tour this Easter, the West Bank Bears of Widnes. They are the under-14s. They played a Catalan select side earlier today. They won by 28 points to 26. They played 2 other games, and they are unbeaten. So they're having a great time down here in the south of France. And I think we met every one of them before the kick-off, Steve-O. They were in foster mums and dads having a great time.
Yeah, and it's isn't it nice to see that they haven't lost the game over the Easter weekend? You're right, they were enjoying themselves. I'm not saying the same about this Catalan outfit, though, but their coach Kevin Walters, he's got to get the message across that at least one of them starts going down and going for the legs. They're going far too high in defence, and they're allowing Wigan to control this game.
Catalan Dragons, though, have the ball at the moment. Well, Price is there in the tackle, trying to wrestle a man in possession down. It was Dane Carlaw, and up goes the kick high off the boot of Thomas Bosk. Pat Richards under no pressure at all. There was plenty of hang time on that kick, but the chase was a bit scratchy.
It was a little bit too far long, wasn't it? And there was no problem for Pat Richards.
Second.
This is Ainscough again.
Right back, both feet. Wait, go. Well done.
And Amos Roberts from dummy half.
Third.
And again, we see the Catalan defenders. Okay, it's all right smothering the ball, but as we saw just recently there, the way that Andy Coley just broke through feeble defence.
Luluai to Coley.
That's
this
better.
Time they go low.
Move. Back here.
Much better tackle low down round the ankles by Casey Maguire. And
Andy,
Luluai
give him 10, Andy.
slides the kick down towards this corner. That's going to stay in the in-goal area as well. They have work to do again here, and they're in trouble once more. And they managed to get out of danger there. Clint Greenshield's doing the work. Harrison Hansen trying desperately to keep him in the in-goal area.
Home crowd don't like the way that Wigan are moving up quickly. It's okay, says Phil Bentham, the man with the whistle. He's the one that counts.
Catalan trailing here, and some injury problems. Bill.
Yeah, Jason Croker off the field for the Dragons at the moment. He was due to be spelled anyway, but he's got a really nasty gash on his left cheek, which the Catalan medical team are having to have a look at. Eddie, you saw how just that ball seemed to sit on the field and just dribble slowly across the turf. It's very lush, and they've had a lot of rain down here in this part of front, especially yesterday when it absolutely chucked it down. And the pitch is very soft and on the edges very boggy.
Well, it will help the kickers then, and I'm sure that message will get out to the players of both sides. If they put the ball in the in-goal areas here, they've got a chance of causing problems. Wigan have done that at least twice already.
Good work by the winger, Sean Ainscough there. Not only just took the ball up, normally they just say, well, we'll die with it. Oh, that's a bad pass. That'll be a knock-on. No advantage. Head and feed. Catalans.
Pass from Gleeson. He's only been with the club a week. He played his debut on Thursday against St Helens. O'Loughlin,
he'd overrun it.
Overrun the pass.
Came a little bit too early, and he knows it. Does Martin Gleeson, been around enough to realise that. Getting back to that point with Sean Ainscough, you know, rather than just die with the football, a couple of neat little steps. You know, he's always looking to try to get the gap, and that's what I like to see in young players.
Stephen Bells thought he saw a gap then.
And hold.
Quickly closed though. This is Greg Bird. He has to return to Australia later this month for a court hearing. A controversial signing in many ways by the Catalan Dragons.
Well, that should have been a penalty, surely.
There is Greg Bird. And this is Thomas Bosk.
Solid defence there by Wigan. You can see that they're staying in the unit. No one's coming out of the line.
Casey Maguire now. Flicks the ball back again to Bird. Pass across the line. Wigan's defence having to be keen and eager to keep David Ferriol at bay. Here is Bosk again, slides the kick in. Great work by Tompkins, but he grounded the ball, I think. The ball-carrying arm had hit the deck, he grounded it. He's trapped in goal anyway. But there again, the lush turf that Bill talked about.
Phil, 2 feet here.
Causing problems for the kicks. Just simply stand up in the in-goal area. And then they lose their footing like that.
Good effort by the youngster though. Tompkins tried his best. Well, they feel a little bit easier now with Brian Noble having a 4-point lead. Well, that's kick. A massive kick.
Great kick from Richards.
Wow.
That's one of the longest goal line dropouts in the business, does Pat Richards. He really gives it a hump.
Move!
But unfortunately, actually, the ball bounced backwards. Because Catalan Dragons now on the second tackle are midway inside the Wigan half of the field.
Not surprisingly, Catalan going back to type, using the big forwards up front. Then you'll see the likes of Thomas Bosk, Greenshields, Walters will be sending out the message soon.
He's starting to enjoy life a bit more, I think. Certainly has over the past week or so. That's a little offload there to Casey Maguire. And it came from Jason Riles.
Move, hold, go.
And Gregory Muniz has the pass to Bosk. Here is Greg Bird again. Now to stutter his way through this Wigan defensive line. Gleeson is there with O'Loughlin, brings him down. Now it's Bosk, and they hoist the kick out here. Just couldn't take it in.
Chance.
Just could not take it in, Vincent Duport.
It was a great kick as well. And you can see Ainscough was nowhere near that. He was on his way down while Duport was going up. Just couldn't take it.
First.
Good
Move.
chance.
And hold.
19 minutes gone.
Go.
Catalan Dragons 4, Wigan 8. Here in Perpignan in the south of France. The last home game, by the way, was the 100th Super League fixture. They lost to the Bradford Bulls in Super League. Dave Halley, a late try, sealing the victory for the Bulls. Of course, returned a fortnight later in the Challenge Cup, and we all know what happened then. The most remarkable comeback that the Catalan Dragons staged. But at least it's put a smile on Kevin Walters' face. This is Amos Roberts. Here is Martin Gleeson, and here is Martin Gleeson's first try in Wigan colours. Martin Gleeson touches down near the sticks. He began and finished that in many ways. Good work with Roberts, who is very quick, and he was quick enough, Martin Gleeson, to support him. And Martin Gleeson, that's an important moment for Gleeson. He signed a 3.5-year contract from Warrington last week. He's been in the Wolves side that was hammered here in the playoffs last year, 46 points to 8. And there's his first Wigan try.
And created by the man. This is the reason why Brian Noble wanted to bring him to Wigan. And you can see that Roberts, he had the speed. Great positional sense there. And you notice how Gleeson, he just came away on an arc. Instead of just directly going towards the sticks, he comes back away just to confuse the defence, and it's just sufficient. You can see there Pello was trying to ankle tap, but Gleeson's too smart for that. They're controlling the game in the Warriors at the moment. Great work from Gleeson. International quality.
Yes, good try from Martin Gleeson. 28 years of age. Gleeson, 6 England caps and 20 for Great Britain. And Pat Richards, well, he hasn't struck gold yet with the boot. Should here. And doesn't make any mistakes from that range. It's 14-4 to Wigan. I think they've got lost. I think it was like December yesterday when we arrived, but it's very much spring-like today. It's Easter, ladies and gentlemen, not Christmas.
Look at that. Roberts has gone on the outside, but Gleeson realises that the fullback's got to go across for Roberts. Open field. Great stuff.
Oh, but Catalan Dragons will get the possession here from a goal line dropout, because Wigan again from the kickoff, and it was a great kickoff from Thomas Bosk, wasn't it? Just landed in the field of play, just in the in-goal area, look, and everybody left it.
Time off.
You'd have thought one of those three should have been able to get to that, at least to contest and make an effort. They know that, and now even with a 10-point lead, they've just given a great chance here now for Catalan. Burgess, he just chaps the ball. He'd be disappointed with where he stood positionally for that last try. It's all right if you miss a tackle, but you want your defenders to be stood in the right position. You hope that they don't miss. But the first prerequisite in any defensive pattern is to have your men that stood in the right place when the opposition have the ball.
Here's Jerome Guisset. And he is lifted and dropped to the ground.
Wait, Sean. Wait.
Watch for the inside pass.
Bailey was the tackler then. Here is Bosk. That's a good run. And it's going to be a try here for Greg Bird. But he just ghosted through. This is end-to-end. You know, there have been points galore in this fixture over the recent past. And I think we're going to get another points fest here tonight. Greg Bird with the try. His second try, very highly rated, as I say. And the Australian international, New South Wales star, all as a result of this kick-off.
They really should have defused it, but full credit to them. Thomas Bosk run the angle, and Bird had the strength. Richards couldn't do anything about it. Seesawing affair at the moment. Can't afford to allow Bosk to do that. He'll control everything if you give him room to move, and that's exactly what he's done. It's what they needed. They're looking a little bit sloppy in defence up until this point. Got the feeling that Wigan was controlling the game, and then they come up with the error from the kick-off. Wigan allow it to go dead in goal. They get possession. It's game on.
It certainly is, and as I say, we could be in for a points fest. There have been plenty of points scored in the Engage Super League this afternoon, the Easter Monday programme. Always a little bit of fatigue and tiredness because of the Good Friday and Easter Thursday fixtures. The players backing up. Well, it's 14-10 here to Wigan. And Thomas Bosch making no mistake with that conversion attempt. And Greg Bird's try converted. And good work from them.
Well, you don't allow the quality of Bosch to do that. It was well finished by Greg Bird. But he's the man of the moment. Had a tremendous year last season. Thomas Bosch.
4 points in it again, 24 minutes gone. With the high kick-off from Richards. Clint Greenshields is underneath it. And driving the ball forward is Jason Riles. He faced Great Britain 7 times, did Jason Riles. And played in all 3 of the 2001 Ashes series.
Well, the home fans screaming for a penalty, and I have to agree with them. That should have been, there was interference there.
Another good run. The big men getting on a roll for the Catalan Dragons. That was Riles once again. This is Ferriol.
And it's just simple plays. Catalan seem to be really targeting this left-hand side of the Wigan team and then opening up the big place for where Greg Bird is.
Lovely little chip over the top from Bosch. It lands for Greenshields, though it was forward anyway. And Ainscough has a chance to counter immediately. Can he get round Bird? No, and he didn't get across the gain line, so it is going to be a handover where the mistake came from Clint Greenshields, but it nearly came off for him.
Just couldn't get to it, could he? Bosch was searching on the inside there. Talented fullback, though, Clint Greenshields. Plenty of pace. Reads the game exceptionally well, as you could see there.
He got 18 tries last year, Clint Greenshields, including 5 against Wigan. A hat-trick in a 45-38 win here last June. So what I mean about the fact that these two sides generally swap a few points. Bailey is injured there in that tackle as he played the ball. Here's Palliasina, man who scored for Wigan on his debut in February 2006 in this corresponding fixture. Captain Sean O'Loughlin for Wigan. Wrestled to the ground eventually by 3.
Move and hold.
O'Loughlin will play it here to Carl Price. He'll give it to Luluai. Now Palliasina.
Again, no one going low for the big legs.
Use your foot, Becker.
He attracts them like flies, though, doesn't he? Palliasina, such a big unit.
The referee then, Phil Bentham, told Palliasina to use his foot, and he just rolled the ball behind him and stepped over it. But that, I'm afraid, is a trait that we see a lot in rugby league these days. Not only in the Super League, but in the Cooperative Championship
I know.
as well.
Are we going to play to the rules or not? This is what frustrates the players and the fans especially.
Well, Phil and I, we were having a discussion, weren't we? Should we go to 3 or 4 weeks of games of 60 penalties, and then maybe the word will get out to the players?
I think that the officials, the teams and the coaches are working well to actually iron out these problems, particularly now that both players have both feet on or behind the try line when defending. And I would think that we're given another few weeks, maybe a couple of months, we'll start to see more players playing the ball with a foot. They're being given a warning, and there's some patience and probably, some understanding from the referees that it's a bad habit that was picked up by players over the last 5 years and will take a time to get rid of.
Well, let's be fair as well. If we were giving away shed loads of penalties for them for not playing the ball, we'd be mourning that the guys are slowing up the game and we're not seeing spectacles of rugby league.
Well, yeah, but do we play to the laws of the game or not?
Absolutely. And it would probably take a week of a massive penalty count all over the country, and suddenly the word would get through. You'd hope so.
It isn't as though it's difficult, is it? Well, they place the ball on the floor. I know they want to get a split-second move so that the people from the dummy half and especially the hookers can get an extra yard forward. But they've got to play by the rules and
did you, Steve? Did you play by the rules?
My word.
He lives by the rules. This now is O'Loughlin. Gets it wide to Gleeson. Gleeson hacks the ball forward and it goes out on the full. Catalan Dragons will get the ball back. We have injury news for Wigan. Bill.
Yeah, we saw Phil Bailey go down in a tackle just a few moments ago. He's subsequently left the field. It looks like maybe a right ankle or possibly calf problem that's put him out of the game, having treatment on the sidelines, and looks in a lot of discomfort. This was the incident when he went down there, and you can see the agony on his face as he hit the ground. Well, he's been replaced by Harrison Hansen. So Bailey, who'd been strong for Wigan so far, out of the game at the moment.
Well, there's a possible obstruction there. Guisset and Ferriol getting in a bit of a tangle, but they managed to get the tackle in, Wigan. Muniz.
Move. Go.
Greg Bird. Ball comes infield to Ferriol again.
Again, basic rugby league football by the Catalans. Quite happy to. This will be a kick perhaps into the corner. And it is.
It's a high kick too. It's a high kick. Whoa! That's surely a penalty. That was a charge, wasn't it, at the head? No, it's a goal line dropout. He's got the ball, but look where the tackle's made.
Well, his feet.
The neck.
Yeah, but his feet have hit the deck first, so that's fine. Well,
Richards has never jumped, and Duport. Well,
I can't see anything wrong.
Duport jumped for the ball, I suppose. But
Yeah, but I can't see anything wrong. He was committed. Well, it isn't as though he's an elbow in his face.
Third goal line dropout for Wigan. Richards only reaches halfway. You say only reaches halfway. Ferriol, big roar from the crowd, and that's why they love him here. He's a big, strong character, this David Ferriol. 14 times he's played for France, and here now is another French international, Jérôme Guisset. He does have an Australian accent, but he's a genuine Frenchman. Played with Canberra Raiders down under. Great ball, Muniz. This is Bell. Muniz is still there, and Muniz will level the scores for the Catalan Dragons. Ferriol with the human wrecking ball early, and then Catalan Dragons exploited what they thought and what they believe obviously is a weakness down this left-hand side of the Wigan defence. And Gregory Muniz, he hasn't missed a game in the Super League yet this year. He got a try here against Warrington in those playoffs last year. He was suspended and he missed the defeat against Wigan. He's not missing tonight.
Sheer power, that's what it was. Good work by Casey Maguire on that short backside, and then it gets into... And Muniz finishes it off. All came about from this. Richards, he'd committed himself, you'd have to say that. And from the dropout, they had the possession, but it was good build-up. Great work there by Casey Maguire. Back on the inside. That is a tremendous try. As we said, game on, give them the opportunity.
Well, Gregory Muniz likes the Sky Sports cameras because we've seen them, the Catalan Dragons, a few times this year, twice, and in the two games that we have covered, Gregory Muniz has crossed the whitewash for a try. It was against Warrington away when they won by 40 points to 20, round 2. And this kick here from Thomas Bosch could give the Catalan Dragons the lead again. They took it in the second minute with the Pello try. And this to give them the lead, and he just trips it over the crossbar with ease. Thomas Bosch. It's 16-14 for the Catalan Dragons.
Good work. Casey Maguire realising that Wigan were no one at home on the outside. Take on that short blind. Too late, you've gone. As soon as Price committed himself, there was always going to be a problem. They're always going to have the numbers.
Casey Maguire realised though that Palliasina couldn't get back behind the ball to where the ruck is. The
Bobby
French
Goulding,
international
the
coach,
French
Bobby Goulding.
national coach, watching on, and that will be, I suppose, a great sight for him to see Gregory Muniz, who has represented his country 16 times, playing like that. And we spoke to Bobby earlier on today, and he's really enjoying the life as the French national coach. And I don't think it's any secret, Steve-O, that the majority of the French players in this Catalan Dragon side will form the nucleus of his squad.
Well, it'd be silly to ignore them, wouldn't it? The teamwork's already there, and they are responding. It took them a while under their new coach, Kevin Walters, but as we've seen just a few seconds ago, that they're capable of doing that.
A lot of people, of course, raised an eyebrow when Bobby Goulding was appointed the French national coach, but he told me today, he said, I always said if you get me in front of somebody,
Just 10, mate.
I'll convince them to give me a chance. And he's got a real chance here in France. He's an enthusiast for the game. There is no doubt about that.
Well, the French will be fired up for that game, won't they? That is for
England
sure.
in Paris, isn't it, in June?
Yeah.
That'll be very interesting.
Exciting, I think, might be the word.
Second. Move. Wait, Jason.
It'll probably be Catalan Dragons v England, won't it?
Yes.
Third.
Plenty of other players, though, of course, that he can have a look at. Toulouse Olympique are in the championship this year.
And let's not forget, Eddie, that was a major reason why they wanted to bring in a French outfit into Super League, Catalans, to make the French side stronger. So the stronger the French get, the stronger we get, because we needed more competition at international level, and we're going to get it.
And there are a few in this side who don't necessarily speak with a French accent, but like this man here, Clint Greenshields, would qualify now on residency.
First. Move. Wait. Go. Good
Catalan
Martin.
Dragons have the lead then. Here in Perpignan, it's a bit of a struggle for Wigan.
Well, the biggest
Control
problem.
the game for about 10-15 minutes, the Warriors, but now Catalan Dragons are getting to the speed of it. Capello nearly loses his shirt in the tackle from Sam Tompkins.
Nearly lost his rag as well, getting a little bit excited.
Since Ferriol has come on, Catalan Dragons have looked impressive going forward. Casey Maguire.
Five.
Big, strong and ugly, that's what you need. Sometimes you've got to roll the sleeves up and be a bit ugly in the game. Oh, that's a bad error.
0.
It was an inside pass.
Well, Kevin Walters would be furious of that, because they were getting the momentum over the advantage line, getting into a good position and ready for a kick.
Eliver just couldn't take the pass in.
And as we've mentioned so many times, this left-hand side where Carl Price is, it's a bit of a problem.
That was a forward pass from Martin Gleeson. Amos Roberts thought he was away.
The opportunity was there, but slightly forward. Maybe more than slightly. Maybe a lot. Opportunities. At least they're giving the ball out wide, but Brian Noble has a few problems. You know, we've got Phil Bailey out there, and it's up the middle where this Catalan outfit are making the yards forward.
They're just running strong, they're running hard, they're running aggressive, aren't they? See Stuart Fielden in your picture, ready to go back on, had a bit of steel up the middle of the park.
Just right up there, mate.
I think he may be coming back on for Becca Palliasina.
Palliasino was about to come off and he's gone back into the scrum.
Is that because you can't make a substitution at a scrum down? I think that's probably the technical ruling.
First.
It won't be long then. Fielden is prowling the touchline and wants to get involved, but meanwhile it's the Catalan Dragons who have the ball. It was Muniz who played it to Maguire. This now is Ferriol.
Third.
Ferriol takes tackle number 3.
Go.
Maguire again at dummy half. Greg Bird, Thomas Bosk fires it wide. There is Bird rather. Here is Greenshields. Greenshields ball back on the inside. Oh, a little flick pass, inventive. Bird is the man in support.
4. Move. Ball feet, Wigan.
There's a great back pass there from Jean-Philippe Bale. Here's a drive in now by Remy Casti.
Go.
Inching closer all the time. And they're over here, and it is Jason Riles. Well, it looks like they're over, but it is now a decision for tonight's video referee. And tonight's video referee is Stuart Cummings.
He was just unsighted there, was Phil Bentham. It's hard to say when he got it down in the first attempt. We'll see better from this angle. I think you've got to give benefit of the doubt there. O'Loughlin tried everything to prevent it, but I think the power of the forward has got it there in the end.
Referee's boss, Stuart Cummings, watching these pictures. He's pressing the buttons tonight.
I think it got down and then they lifted him. This is a very difficult one for Stuart Cummings.
And it's a very big call as well. Look at the scoreline, 16-14.
Do we
give
see
the Catalan Dragons a huge lift going into the changing rooms at half-time?
Well, I think he's got it down there. Yeah, he's got to give that. Yeah.
It'll be the first for Jason Riles for the Catalan Dragons if this is given the green light.
It's a big blow and a bitter blow to this Wigan outfit. This will be given. There you can see it's on terra firma there.
Well, the crowd here aren't used to having the big screen, but they're loving having it in the ground here with us tonight. And the decision is a try, and the celebrations begin. Jason Riles, 15 times for Australia, 8 times for New South Wales. And a very big, high-profile signing for this club. And he's come up with his first try for the Catalan Dragons in the Engage Super League.
And it was good work. Remy Casti got them close to it. That saves a few legs, doesn't it?
Innovative, isn't it? They're taking the kicking tee out with that.
There's Casti. And it was a quick play of the ball by the substitute, Remy Casti, that allowed them. It's effective. It may not be fancy down at times, but it is so effective. It doesn't matter how you get over the line.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? You run straight, you run strong, you run hard. And Casey Maguire done really well there, getting out, engaging the Wigan markers, and Jason Riles just crashing over.
And here is Thomas Bosk to add the extras, which he does. And the kicking tee makes the more usual way back to the sideline, courtesy of the water carrier, but the Catalan Dragons in control suddenly.
I think that's what you call a purple patch in sport, when you score 18 points in 14 minutes, particularly just before half-time. And knowing these Catalan Dragons and the form they're in and the scoring spurges that they go on, they'll want to actually score again here before half-time. Tough 2 minutes here for Wigan. They really need to concentrate with the tackle technique and control here.
Another high hanging kick-off. Greenshields is underneath it. Here is Ferriol again. Just going back to that remote control car, you remember the story, the rumour that we had going round once upon a time that a coach was going to send out instructions on a remote control car to his players?
I can remember it.
I don't think it ever happened, did it? But it was supposed to be going to.
Well, they wanted to, and I think the captain couldn't read the message that was sent out. Not because he couldn't read, but mainly because he was indecipherable.
Move!
Minute and a half to half-time. Ferriol again.
Man Mountain, isn't he?
Well, they've been a different kettle of fish, the Dragons, since he's been on.
Go.
Last one, though, here. Hello. Shifts the ball inside. A fly hack by Greenshields. Fielden drops on it gratefully. This is a chance for Wigan.
And again, lack of concentration. You know, they should have had someone standing back, someone calling for it. Ended up in a right mess.
And it's a great opportunity for the Wigan Warriors. Ainscough. Infield it comes. Ainscough is the man who is there to take it forward again. Did a 360-degree turn. Went back where all the heavy traffic was. 3 tackles gone. McIlorum at dummy half. Fires the pass to young Sam Tompkins. There's that lush turf that's causing the players a few problems. And Pat Richards is tackled on the 4th.
Interesting to see that Mark Gleeson has been operating in the last couple of play the balls on this left-hand side. There he is.
There's Gleeson again. That's the last tackle here for Wigan. This set of 6. There's 19 seconds for the Catalan Dragons to hold out. Tompkins with a little dab through, but very well claimed. Earlier, I think it was, and then he gets the penalty.
Sean just came in.
Good work by the second rower, Olivia Elima. Just not enough power on that from the young Sam Tompkins. There's the half-time hooter.
They've got to take the penalty, though. The penalty stands. They have to take the penalty. They'll put it out now. They'll take the tap. I wonder what they'll do. I wonder what Catalan Dragons will do. Kick and chase, or will they just say, well, we'll settle for an 8-point lead at the break? 2 balls on the field now. Pat Richards is back there, and Ainscoe's just behind the first line of defence as well, just clearing the second ball off the field.
Tap and tackle.
Yes, they'll take the 8-point lead into the dressing rooms. That'll do them.
Okay, Sam,
well,
just walk
at
away.
times, Wigan controlled this match. At others, when David Ferriol came on and Brian Noble's very keen to get across the field and talk to his players by the looks of things, when Ferriol comes on, Catalan Dragons become a different side. They scored 3 tries in the second half of that first half.